When you hear the phrase communicating with the dead, what do you think of? Maybe it's candles, a summoning circle, a Ouija board, or kokuri-san. But the method I carried out required no tools or anything. A simple method of communicating with the dead. Maybe that sounds a little odd. At the time, that simpleness was the reason I was interested, but also the beginning of my regret. I hope you don't follow my lead and try this for yourself. So, I'm going to tell you about it now. I was just a boring guy working various part-time jobs to survive. I prepared some cup noodles to fight off my afternoon lethargy. You could say I was even mocked by others as being a social conformist. I finished my early morning job at the warehouse and then started my evening job working the register at the supermarket. During my break time in between, I rested at home. Was I really okay with this? Just living my life out of habit? I didn't even have time to think about it, and yet my poor living conditions had me almost struggling to breathe, like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I slammed down some cup noodles and defrosted rice, and then laid down as I grabbed my phone. I looked at the fascinating lives my acquaintances were leading on SNS. A pretty girl gently threatened me to pay for my app charges. Masked and disguised people made a big deal over tiny things on video sites. Sneering, I wasted my time without a care in the world. Then I found myself on a certain blog. I enjoyed wasting time watching ghost videos, and my eyes stopped on a particular sentence. Psychics can sense it. A way to communicate with the dead that anyone can try. I remember well what was written there. Usami-sama Jo. 1. Close your eyes, relax, and carry out the following inside your head. 2. Imagine yourself standing by your front door. 3. Repeat this 3 times. Usami-sama Jo. Atana onokosu. Isomi-somu. 4. Go around your house and open all the windows one by one. 5. Once you've done that, return to the front door and then close them all one by one. 6. Once you've done that, return to the front door again. 7. Repeat Atisami-sama Jo 3 times, and then slowly open your eyes. It said that if you did this, then something strange would happen around you. I sneered, thinking about how stupid it sounded. But still, I was also intrigued. Spirit boxes and tri-field meters were toys far too expensive for me. I didn't want to go anywhere near ghost spots, and yet I wanted to check them out at the same time. Yet, if I could try such an expensive hobby, visit such a thrilling place right here, then there was no way it could work, right? I sat up and readied myself as though I knew it could never work, crossing my legs and then closing my eyes. The apartment I lived in slowly formed in the darkness. From the bed I was sitting on, I could see my game console in front of me and other things scattered around the room. In the darkness, I made my way towards the front door. My worn-out safety boots, 2 broken umbrellas, and a crumpled up receipt were there. Usami-sama jo, ata no onokosu, isomi-somu. I repeated the words 3 times, and then...
Hi.
Yes? I heard a voice whisper by my ear. Wah! I screamed before I could stop myself. I opened my eyes and looked around, then realized that I had goosebumps all over. It was the regular, normal voice of a young woman I'd never heard before. I walked around the room, muttering about how I was scared. Who was it? What was going on? I opened the door and checked outside, but I couldn't sense anyone around. I sighed and turned around, and then... Nobody was going to be standing there, right? After that strange phenomenon, I couldn't help but think that way. Maybe I imagined it because I wanted it to happen. Oh, how stupid. I laid back down in bed and looked up at the ceiling. An unknown woman was lying there, looking down at me. She grinned as I gulped. Next thing I knew, I was lying in a hospital bed. Before I understood what was happening, my parents ran over. It seemed after that I climbed onto my apartment's veranda and fell from the 2nd floor to the ground below. My injuries were serious, so I'd slept an entire day away. I couldn't remember a single thing. All I remembered was the woman who was stuck to my ceiling, and the creepy smile that spread across her face the moment I was filled with fear. Just remembering it gave me goosebumps. Even when I blinked, I could see her face. In order to rid myself of the fear I felt, I told my parents everything. I called work to apologize for my sudden absence and tried my best to cheer myself up. Because I could still vaguely sense that woman's presence. I suffered from light bruising and internal swelling, so I was able to quickly leave the hospital. The police came around to ask a few questions, but it didn't go any further than that. My parents also came around to make me food, clean up and such, and it was almost embarrassing how much they looked out for me, but I was greatly relieved because of it. Well, it's about time for us to head back now. As soon as they said that, I was overcome with an indescribably weird feeling. I gave only a vague answer, and then they left. I think they told me to call them if anything happened. I wanted them to come back already. I was scared. It was my apartment, my room, and yet it felt like it was no longer my room, but somebody else's. Something was making a sound. It was an ordinary sound, and yet I was afraid. I was afraid of all the things I had, up until that point, chalked up to my imagination. A pathetic scream escaped from my throat. It was that woman. I knew it was. What should I do? I was so scared. I sat in the corner of the room, a large man, wrapped in a blanket and trembling. I didn't want to see or hear anything. I closed my eyes and covered my ears, and in a world of darkness, for just a second, I saw my room and that woman appeared right in front of me. Look, I heard right by my ear. I didn't want to accept the situation before me, but it was too late for that. I could already vaguely see in front of me. All I could do was look at who was there. In utter terror, tears filled my vision. I didn't know if it was that woman, but slowly it approached me. I could hear a voice muttering. I couldn't make out what it was saying, but it seemed to be repeating something. After that, what should I do? I couldn't do anything. I wanted to die. Somebody, please do something. Thoughts swirled around my head, but I couldn't move. A hand reached out for me. For some reason, that hand was incredibly big. It was huge and, for some reason, a strange color. So, what do you think? After that, my body was found in my apartment as a corpse. It was determined I hung myself with a belt, and I was cremated. In my case, the ritual was like on the stairs before going around the house. If you're interested, then no, maybe I shouldn't say anything. Who was that woman? Well, I wonder if I should tell you what kind of woman she was.